Thanks for stopping by and check out my video today. My name's Eric, and on this episode of Smo'King, I'm going to show you how to make Sous Vide Tequila and Lime chicken, specifically for fajitas. Now, it's the end of July here in Southern California where I live, and it's been miserably hot. We're going through heat wave after heat wave. It's been in the high 90s, low triple digits, just about every day for the last 2 or 3 weeks. So I've been kind of miserable. I don't like heat, so I've been stuck inside in the air conditioning. So I've been feeling guilty because I haven't been able to go outside to smoke or cook anything on the barbecue, and I thought, well, what can I make inside that's still going to be just as delicious? And I came up with this recipe. You see, I have 5 skinless and boneless chicken breasts here. We have, of course, some limes, some onions, a wide variety of different color peppers, some basic spices, and of course the key ingredient, some tequila. I bought a brand new bottle yesterday, and since I'm only going to need a few ounces for the marinade for this recipe, instead of my normal beer review this time around, I'm going to be making a very popular Mexican tequila drink. And I know what you're thinking, it's not a margarita, it's something completely different, and hopefully something you've never even heard of before. But on a hot day, it's so refreshing. So I'm looking forward to that as well. So stick around, I'm going to show you how to make this step by step. Let's get cooking. So the first thing you want to do is slice everything up into thin strips. I spared you all the prep work here. I'm sure you guys can figure it out. You slice the peppers long and thin. You slice the chicken in long little strips here. Okay? Same thing with the onions. I always recommend use a wide variety of colors. I try to get a little bit of a rainbow in here, red, green, yellow, and orange. It just makes for a nice presentation. And that's it. So we're going to bag these up here separately. I'm going to put the onions and peppers in one bag, and I'm going to put the chicken in another bag, and I'll show you the marinade mix we'll be making. We'll be back in a second. I'll show you that. So I have all the ingredients out here for making the marinade that we're going to soak this chicken in, and also what we're going to cook it in when it's in the sous vide bath. So all you have to do is mix this together. So the first thing you want to do, get a mixing bowl here. We're going to add 2.5 tablespoons of regular old olive oil. You need some kind of oil base in there. So 2.5 tablespoons. You guys don't have to write this down. I'll leave the specific measurements in the video description below. We're going to add now 3 ounces of honey, or 6 tablespoons, whatever is easier for you to remember. Okay, I'm going to do 2 shots of tequila. You see those 2 shot glasses. They're around 1.5 ounces apiece. So 2 shots equals around 3 ounces. Same thing as the chicken and the lime juice. Alright, let's try to get all that honey out. Honey is one of those things hard to get out and measure properly because it's so sticky. Okay, good enough. Alright, again, 3 ounces of fresh lime juice. Okay, this is going to be delicious. Now we're going to get to some of the dry ingredients here. We have some chili powder, 2 tablespoons of chili powder. We have some cumin. We have 3 teaspoons of cumin. I have some garlic here. It's probably around 3 to 4 cloves of garlic we're going to put in there as well. I need that again. Garlic is good in everything. Okay. Now we're going to add a little heat to it. I got some red pepper flakes. You can also use cayenne pepper. I got around a teaspoon of red pepper flakes. And then last but not least, salt and pepper. I got 2 teaspoons of salt and 1 teaspoon of regular old ground black pepper. And last but not least, the secret ingredient, we're going to use some tequila here. I got some Hornitos tequila, pure guave tequila here. So we're going to do 2 shots of tequila. Oops. And I'll spill half of it. There you go. One shot. Might be taking a few more shots, whoops, later on. So there you go. Now we're just going to mix all this up really nice. And like I said, this is what we're going to seal in a sous vide bag with the chicken. Just the chicken. The vegetables I'm just going to lightly toss in olive oil with a little salt and pepper, maybe a sprinkle of chili powder, and that's it. They're going to be sealed separately, but they're going to cook at the same temperature, which makes it really convenient. So let me just mix all this up. We'll be back in a second. I'll show you the next step. So here I have the vegetables, the peppers, and the onions in 2 separate food saver bags. Now I'm doing it in 2 separate bags as well as 2 separate bags for the chicken because I'm not going to eat all this tonight. That's what's great about sous vide. If you have a vacuum sealer, make a bigger portion than normal and then take the extra on the side, vacuum seal it, throw it in your fridge for a few days later, or throw it in your freezer for several weeks down the road. I always love to discover, oh yeah, I got nothing to eat today, and then, oh yeah, I'll make some of those fajitas I made a couple weeks ago. So, I'm doing them in the freezer, the food saver bags. You don't need to do them in food saver bags. You can also use regular Ziploc freezer bags. But with the vegetables being so light, sometimes they're hard to keep submerged. So you might have to put some liquid, usually chicken broth or something, you know, a half a cup maybe to 3/4 of a cup in the bag to help weigh it down. So all we're going to do here is we're just going to put a little bit of olive oil, and I mean a little bit, not a whole lot, maybe half a tablespoon, just a little bit like that, just to give it a little bit of moisture. And then we're just going to put a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper, just like so. I'm going to go ahead and seal these up, and then I'll come back and I'll show you what we do with the chicken. So here I have the chicken in 2 separate bags. I'll eat one tonight, save one for later. So I just like to put it in a container when I add this marinade. Makes it a little easier. I fold back the ends so I don't have a problem sealing it. Here's our little mixture here. Luckily this has got some measurements on the side. It shows that it's 8 ounces of liquid. So I'm going to try to put 4 ounces in each bag. So we're just going to pour here. Not quite. Okay, I think that's about it. This one could use a little bit more. You know, you can eye it. It doesn't have to be exact. The great thing about sous vide is once this is in the sous vide bath, all these flavors are going to blend together. Boom! So now just take it to, you want to kind of mix it real good for a little bit. Try to get that marinade around all those chicken pieces. And now I'm going to seal them up. We'll be back in a second. So here we are. Everything's vacuum sealed. We got these beautiful peppers and onions with a little bit of the olive oil and some salt and pepper. And then we have the delicious tequila lime chicken. Now one thing I forgot to mention, I bought a bunch of cilantro at the store, which is kind of Mexican parsley, and I just took a handful and threw them in before I sealed the bag, just to give it a little bit of added flavor. That's not a necessity, but I think it's a nice little extra step. So if you have some cilantro, I would recommend that. So what I'm going to do is, we're going to save this batch for tonight. And like I said, the great thing about sous vide, I'm going to put the second batch just straight into the freezer. And then maybe several weeks down the road when we're hungry and we have nothing in the house and we don't really feel like going out and cooking, I'll see this in the freezer, I'll heat up the sous vide, throw it in, and hey, there you go. I got a delicious meal that's already been made and ready to go. All I have to do is cook it. So here we go. Let me get my sous vide tub full of water and get it heated up to temperature. We're going to go for 149 degrees Fahrenheit, anywhere between 2 and 3 hours. We'll be back in a second when I got the machine ready to go. All right, here we are. I got it warmed up to 149 degrees. Now you can cook this anywhere from, I'd say, 1.5 hours to 3 hours. I'd probably go a minimum of 2. Now, the chicken's going to be cooked perfectly The peppers and onions aren't going to be cooked perfectly. They're going to be nice and soft, but you're still going to have to saute them for a few minutes to get them kind of crispy how you want them when you make them with fajitas. So it's warmed up. We're going to get these in here. Since this is lighter, I'm going to try to put the heavy chicken on top to kind of help weigh it down. And like I said, if you're just using a freezer bag, try to put something heavy inside, like some kind of chicken broth or something to weigh it down. Alright. Boom. We'll press start. That's it. Look how easy this is. And if you pull it out of the freezer, like I'm going to do on that other batch that I already put away, I'll probably do those for 2.5 to 4 hours. You want to allow an extra probably 45 minutes to an hour if you're cooking it from a completely frozen starting point, just to allow it enough time to defrost and actually do the cooking. We'll be back shortly. I'll show you how to make that Mexican tequila cocktail I've been promising to show you a little bit later on. Still a bit too early to start that, but we'll be back in around an hour and a half or so. See you then. Alright, it is drink time. Here I am, and this drink is called the Paloma. It's a very famous drink in Mexico. Traditionally, it's made with grapefruit juice and then either club soda or sometimes lemon lime soda. But I cheat a little bit because there's a drink here in America called Squirt, which is a grapefruit soda, which works just as well. Now you're supposed to serve this in a tall, skinny glass. I don't have any. I just have these beer glasses, these pint glasses. What you can do is put a little tray of water here, a little plate of water I should say. Just dip your glass in it like this to get the edge wet, and then just regular old kosher salt makes a great margarita salt. So you get a nice little salty rim like this. Then of course we're going to add some ice. This is such a great drink to have in the summertime. It's very light, it's very refreshing. Whoops. Okay. Then we're going to add the tequila. I got a new shot glass here, the Beatles Love Show. Great show. If you like the Beatles and you're in Vegas at the Mirage, I highly recommend it. I'm going to go for 1.5 shots. There we go. Then you're supposed to put in some lime juice. I have some limes already pre-cut here. I'm going to put around 1/2 lime in there. So I've cut a lime into quarters and I'm going to squeeze real good. There we go. Let's get one more. Oh man, I can already smell it. Fresh lime juice. Then they say just take a pinch of salt, so just grab some out of there, sprinkle it in there, like so, and then we're going to top it off with the grapefruit soda, which in this case is just regular Squirt. Let me see here, just get a spoon real quick. Stir that up. And of course you want to be fancy. Serve it with a lime garnish. There you go. Absolutely delicious. Cheers guys. Again, I appreciate you watching my video. Oh man. If you like margaritas, you like margaritas on the rocks, give this a try. It's not too sweet. The lime juice kind of gives it that tartness. The Squirt isn't overly sweet. I mean, it's just a really good, light, refreshing cocktail. Definitely gets me in the mood for Mexican food, because I usually only drink stuff like this if I'm at a Mexican restaurant. Or, of course, if I'm going to be having chicken fajitas. So, we got around another 45 minutes on this. I'm going to enjoy my cocktail, and I will meet you guys back here shortly when this is ready to come out, and I'll show you the next step. Until then, cheers guys. I appreciate you watching my video and all the support. Thanks again. Alright guys, welcome back. We're around 10 minutes away from 3 hours, but I'm hungry. And I have to say, a second endorsement for this drink. Woo, I really like it. I made one for my wife Monica. She hasn't had a drink in around 5 months, and she's halfway through and she's like, wow, I really like this. So cheers again. Thanks for watching. So anyway, when you're done with this, anywhere from 2 to 3 hours, what you want to do, the vegetables aren't quite done, like I said. They're definitely going to be softer and tender, but you know what? We want to put them in a really hot frying pan or cast iron pan with a little bit of olive oil, like medium-high heat. We want to get a little bit of crisp on them, okay? And then when we think those are done and you can sample them, then we're going to throw the chicken on. And the chicken is pretty much perfectly cooked, okay? So this is literally only going to take maybe 2-3 minutes stirring it around, just letting it get a little crispy on each side with the vegetables. And that's it. It's super easy. Now this has a lot of liquid in it. We don't need any of this liquid. So when you take this out, just take the chicken out. You can either pull the pieces out individually, or if you got a colander, you just want to drain it, just drain all that liquid. We're not going to use that liquid at all. The chicken has soaked up all that liquid while it was cooking. So let me do that with this, and I'll meet you over at the stove when we throw this into the cast iron pan. It's going to be delicious. See you in a little bit. Alright, some olive oil in the cast iron. Nice and hot. Just let this go over a medium-high heat for a few minutes, and then we'll add the chicken. Oh, smells wonder. The vegetables are very soft and tender. We're just going to crisp them up a little bit. Be back in a second. Alright, it's been around 2 minutes. Look good. Now I'm just going to make some room in the center, kind of push everything to the side. We're going to pour that chicken in there. And I drained this really good and took out the cilantro. Woo. And break this up, obviously. Oh my goodness, the smell on the seasoning. Oh, it's amazing. Alright, so we're just going to let these go. I'm going to try to continue stirring it, but let it sit for a minute too to crisp up in certain areas. And that's it. We're just going to do this for maybe 3 to 5 minutes. Keep stirring it. Everything's perfectly cooked. Our only purpose here is to warm it up and give it a little bit of a crisp on it. I'm going to be warming up some flour tortillas. We've got some salsa and some sharp cheddar cheese and some sour cream. We're going to make some fajita burritos. Man, it's going to be delicious. Alright, here we are. Man, it smells wonderful. It's just about done. I just wanted you guys to take a look at it. You can bring this right to the plate, just how they do it in a restaurant, sizzling. Be back in a second. We'll make a burrito and we'll sample this. Alright guys, here we are with the whole family. My wife Monica, my son Kyle, my daughter Ava Grace. Say hi, Ava Grace.
Hi.
And we're going to try this right now, as well as making some fajitas. Go ahead. Try, Kyle.
I'm gonna eat a tortilla.
No. Try a piece of chicken with a little bit of the bell pepper.
Oh, I'm like, you wanna do it here? I'm like, what?
Ooh.
Got it? Here. Oh, it's
I
gone.
have to try the spice on
Okay,
it.
that's fine. Go ahead.
And then drink here.
There's an onion.
I'm like, do I eat a tortilla video?
Go
I think
for it.
we all know how the
There's bell
tortilla
pepper.
tastes.
Wow. This tastes better than what I get in a fancy Mexican restaurant. Ooh, the spice is perfect.
I cannot eat it because you're not going to see me. It's hard to eat. I don't eat solid food because of my tubing. I have tube.
She has a feeding tube.
She has a feeding tube, so she doesn't eat, but she likes to participate.
Yeah.
You like being here,
She's a
right,
big
Ava Grace?
helper.
You're a good helper.
I am a good helper.
You are a very good helper.
And this is what I always do on Dad. Remember? Smo'King. Barbecue tips and recipes.
Thank you, Ava Grace. What do you think, Kyle?
Good.
How's it taste? Good? I'm going to make some fajita burritos. Man, good stuff. Very easy to do in the sous vide, as I showed you. Thanks again, as always, guys, for watching. If you liked the video, please hit the like button. Check out the link above. It's to my website, ericsmokingbbq.com. And we'll see you next time. Thanks a lot. Say bye, Ava Grace.
Bye.
Say bye, Kyle.
Bye. Say bye.
Thanks again, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.